Hi, my name is Joey Perugino, and I'm from Montreal, Canada. My talk today is going to be on the challenges of implementing a PMO. But before I start, I'd like to just take a moment to give a great, congratulations or thanks to the whole organizing committee of the PMO Global Awards. This year, they've put together an amazing conference for us. Capitalizing, I guess, on a very unfortunate circumstance, the fact that we couldn't get together in person, and that because of COVID, everything has to reinvent itself or change itself, and they've made the most of the situation. So now this year we have a conference that's bigger than ever, more global, more far-reaching, with tracks in French for the first time, in Arabic for the first time, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. Um, Honestly, they've worked so hard to be able to put this together for us. I've been helping a little bit with the French tract, and that started a couple of months ago. And my part is only maybe 5% of what Medico and his team put forward. So thanks a lot to them. All of us being able to get together and talk about a topic that we're all passionate about, which is project management offices, or PMOs, is something that wouldn't be possible without all your efforts. So congrats to you, and really appreciate the effort that you put in. So these are the topics that I want to cover today, more or less. Talk about me, give you a little bit of background on who I am. We're going to talk about what is a PMO, why, despite the fact that it could be a challenge, as I state in the premise in my first, in the title of my presentation, you would want to go ahead and move forward and implement a PMO. We're going to talk about why PMO implementations fail. There are many reasons. I'm just going to outline a few. PMO implementations can be challenging, and the challenges can come from many different places, from the project managers themselves or from lack of support from senior management, not being able to give value. There's many reasons. But either way, we're going to talk about that. And at the end, I guess I'll try to give you some recommendations, some takeaways, things that you can do to mitigate, I guess, some of the reasons why PMO implementations can be difficult. You might not be able to eliminate them completely, but at least you'll have all the chances on your side for it to be a successful PMO implementation. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, so as I stated before, my name is Joey Perugino. I'm I guess I'm a PMP, PSM. I did my studies in Wales University. I did a Master of Science in Project Management, and that's where the whole topic of project management offices, I guess, really came into play in a big way for me. It was kind of a revelation. It was a choice of my research topic and for my dissertation, and it became an area that I developed a lot of interest in. My career in itself spans, I guess, more than 25 years. In the field of project management, consulting, I worked a lot in banking before too. I've done some PMO implementations where I played a part, and I do some coaching and mentoring in the project management, I guess, industry. I work with clients to help them solve challenging project management related problems. Since I have an interest in PMOs, wherever I may be, I always try to collaborate with them and help, I guess, tweak or improve some of the things that I see, give them ideas, things that they could implement, things like that. in order to help them, I guess, create projectized environments that will help project managers like myself be able to deliver better, make my life simpler. I like that. I'm a member of PMI Montreal, where I live, and of Guayaquil, or Guayas, Ecuador. My wife is from Ecuador, so we spend a lot of time there too. And I'm very happy to see that in the last few years, there's a PMI chapter that developed that opened in Guayaquil. I think it reached full member status right now. So there's a lot that is happening right now in the I guess project management space in the coastal areas of Ecuador. I guess in the capital, in Quito, in the Andes Mountains, PMI has been established for a long time. However, on the coast in Guayaquil, which happens to be the biggest city in Ecuador, where there's I guess the most business, commerce. There's a lot of things. It's a very vibrant city. There was the need, I guess, for project management practices to be implemented, I guess, in a more structured way, and I think PMI is going to help that a lot. It's a very active chapter. I see them doing things all the time. They have a lot of conferences every week, little workshops and things of the sort. So it's a community that's growing, and I'm very happy to be able to I guess contribute by talking about them and cheering them on from a distance most of the time. It's my contribution, I guess. I've been a judge now for the last 2 years of the PMO Global Awards. It has been one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever had. The PMO Global Awards is like the World Cup of PMOs. You take the best PMOs from the largest organizations, the best organizations from all around the world, and you put them together in a competition to see which one has the best practices, which one put forward the best roadmap to implementing a successful PMO, and things of the sort. You get to see best practices, some of the challenges they had to overcome. It's really very interesting, and as a judge, I guess I'm in a privileged position to be able to learn from the best. So I hope I get to be a judge again next year. Apart from that, well, I host I guess a small meetup where we talk about project management. It's called Let's Talk Project Management. Parlons de gestion de projet in French. Since Montreal is a bilingual city, sometimes I hold workshops or meetings in French, sometimes in English. Now that we are in COVID, my meetings have gone virtual, like pretty much everything else around the world. And as a result, the presentations are now held online, and I have people from all around the world that come in sometimes, and it's really cool because I get a chance to share with them, talk, we exchange on what are some of the practices that they have in their countries. Because of PMI, I guess project management all around the world, the methodology is pretty much the same. The things that we do are the same. However, culturally, there can be a lot of aspects that have an impact, and that's always very, very interesting to me, the cultural dimensions, like Hofstede, topic that has always interested me very much also. So let's start by talking a little bit about what is a PMO. So PMO is I'm going to keep it simple and just say a project management office. Project management office is a group that is either internal or external to a company that sets, maintains, and ensures standards for project management across that organization. They're the keepers of the best practices, project status, and direction, and they do that all in one spot. Brian Weiss, who's Vice President Practitioner Career Development of PMI, I guess coined this, and I I thought it was a pretty good definition. At the end of the day, PMOs are in place to help organizations deliver value to their stakeholders, to projects, and to programs. Project management offices, PMOs, originated more or less in the 1990s, around 1995. I guess as a result of lots and lots of pain inflicted by IT projects like the ones that I sometimes run, that tend to be over budget, take too long, deliver stuff that's not necessarily in scope, or that changes from whatever was said at the beginning. The IT world can be a little bit complicated, and the work of a project manager, I guess at best, is very difficult at times. So PMOs are pretty much project management's the evolution of project management's way to help organizations deliver products better and more efficiently in a better way. And in my opinion, when you're in an organization that has a well-run project management office, they're the project manager's best friend, because they help remove roadblocks, they help you move forward on your projects, and things of the sort. They can be a very good tool if you use them well. So why would you want to implement a PMO? There are many reasons. I'm only listing a few. There's a study that was done, I guess, by State of the PMO in 2016. And this is a little graph that I took from some research that I did prior to making this presentation, where they called the value of the PMO. They're the unsung heroes of the PMO that can deliver. Okay, so these are the reasons why PMOs are popular in many organizations. First of all, there's a big difference between organizations that have a PMO and organizations that don't. Those that do have 43% of their, I guess, an improvement in the strategic alignment of the projects that they run versus other organizations. There's a cost saving per project, and that in itself already pays for whatever the cost of implementing a new structure in order to support projects like would be the undertaking of implementing a PMO. $175,000 per project. In large organizations, like most of the places where I've had mandates, they run several projects, like 100 projects, 200 projects. So multiply that number. You're looking at 35 million just for one organization, and that's probably a small number. There's some organizations that probably run more projects, therefore can save even more by implementing a PMO and being able to just deliver their projects more efficiently. Talking about delivering projects more efficiently, well, organizations that have a PMO have a decrease in failed projects by 25%. Delivering a project can be, I guess, a challenge. You know, you have three variables that you always have to keep track of, which are cost, budget, and scope. You can easily lose control of one. And when you lose control of two or more, or all three, well, it's deemed a failed project. And as such, that happens a lot, or it used to happen a lot before PMOs. Now it still happens, but less. And that's an area where PMOs can really deliver a lot of value to an organization. They do that by basically doing five things. There's more things, but these are the top five that I could come up with. So they increase insight into project performance. It lets the project manager, and at a more important level, the organization, know at all times how a project is doing. So I guess it includes transparency. so they can intervene and take action when a project is in trouble, not going in the right direction. Sometimes if you intervene at the right time, well, you can correct and adjust and be able to deliver your project successfully. If you go too late, well, that ends up probably becoming a failed project. So the better quality data that you have, in a better position the organization is in order to be able to act and help project managers execute, I guess, in the delivery of their projects. Something else that PMOs do is they can make project delivery more consistent. So by implementing, I guess, uniformity in the tools that are used in order to be able to deliver projects, and in the manner in which projects are delivered in the first place. What type of methodology are you going to use? Is it going to be waterfall, agile? Is it going to be somewhere in between, a hybrid? These are things where the PMO can help, and they'll create tools that will help the organization or the project managers be able to run their projects in a more consistent manner. It also improves the accountability of the project managers themselves by being able to provide more data to the organization on how the projects are doing. As I stated before, that makes the project manager accountable, I guess, for delivering on the things that he set out that he was going to do when he first initiated the project. It increases the efficiency of the organization, the efficiency in the way that the projects are delivered, and it limits failures. And it also aligns projects with business strategy. PMOs that do a good job, successful PMOs, work hand in hand with, I guess, the upper management, and they are strategically, I guess, linked to the goals of the organization, and that's an area where they can deliver a lot of value. When I talked about the fact that within organizations, or within the project management community at large, there can be a lot of people that are opposed or don't necessarily believe in the value that a PMO can bring to an organization. They believe that it's unnecessary structure, that it's not clear, its mandate sometimes isn't clear. And as a result, some people are opposed or don't believe that they're a necessary tool. When I was doing my dissertation many years ago, I reached out. I did a research paper, I guess, and I created a questionnaire, and I reached out to a lot of people and asked them for input on PMOs. And one of my questions was, what should be a PMO's core functions, or more specifically, what roles and functions should ideally be part of a PMO's service offering? And one of the persons that I had the honor of having that responded to my questionnaire was Bill Duncan. Bill Duncan was one of the original, I guess, authors, one of the group of authors of the original PMOGA. So he really knows his stuff. He knows about project management. He wrote the book on project management. And he doesn't believe in PMOs. So when I asked him the question, he told me, Joey, you shouldn't have a PMO. That's the best kind of PMO. No PMO solves the problem. I was really intrigued, and I said, you have to be kidding. I mean, how can you, someone like you, not believe in PMOs that are there to, I guess, help organizations and project managers do their job? And he told me that, the main thing for him was the fact that the whole, I guess, service offering of the PMO sometimes was a little bit vague. What did they really? Why were they really there? What were they really meant to do? In his opinion, it would be better to simply have a project management department and have project management people devoted to helping project managers deliver and do their job. He gave me examples. If you have a company as a marketing, companies have a marketing office, they have an accounting office, an engineering office. They should also have a project support office or something of the sort. That would probably help. But when it's not clear what exactly the PMO does, and it's, I guess, it's up to people's interpretation. Sometimes, for Bill and for many people in the industry, PMOs are, I guess, just unnecessary overhead, that projects will be run with or without them. So what are the primary functions of the PMO? What is part of their service offering? You know, what do they do? What do they do that brings value to an organization? Well, this is just a partial list, okay? But these are some of the roles that are filled by a PMO. So PMOs help establish and monitor project success metrics. So they create, I guess, metrics, KPIs, units of measurement that you use in order to be able to monitor how well a project is or is not doing. And they'll create reports that have to do with that, and it helps them and the organization, I guess, be able to track how healthy the project portfolio is doing. And like I said before, it gives them the opportunity to intervene and things of the sort, which can save the organization a lot of money in the long run. Project management offices, PMOs, also, I guess, standardize the manner in which projects, the practice of project management. They can contribute to developing the core competencies of the PMOs in themselves, helping them gain accreditation, give them trainings, make them become PNP or PSM or PMI-ACP or any of the accreditations that might be deemed worthy for the organizations, like SAFE or things of the sort, which as a result, I guess, brings up the PM maturity of the organization. The two things usually go hand in hand. They'll do portfolio management, program management. They'll do capacity management, and I guess help the organization determine when resources are required on projects and how many resources you need and things of the sort. All of that bit is something that PMOs can do. They can help maintain a focus on benefits, and this is done, I guess, by helping the organization do an exercise of determining which projects, if you choose to do them, will deliver more value to an organization. And once the projects are completed, they can do, I guess, because of all the KPIs and measures that they've put into place, they can evaluate whether the project really did realize all the benefits that it was supposed to when it was initiated. And I guess it can also do the handoff to operations when a project is completed, ensuring that you give the keys to the car and the guide to how they can drive the car to the clients. They also, I guess, can create a repository where you have best practices, lessons learned, things that project managers can use when they start new projects, in order to be able to help them gain time and maybe avoid some of the mistakes that were made in previous projects. I guess this is knowledge that can be kept and maintained within as an asset of the organization. Overall, in 2017, there was a study that was done by Pulse of the Profession for PMI on the rising importance of PMOs. Overall, in 2017, 71% of large organizations around the world had a PMO. This is a very big, a significant increase from the previous decade where we were only at 61%. Remember what I said, implementing a PMO is a very challenging endeavor at most. At the time when I was doing my study in 2012, when I did my dissertation, one of the elements that stuck out to me was the fact that most PMOs did not make it beyond 2 years of their implementation. They were either they pulled the plug or they weren't completely implemented or things of the sort. That was an area that was of great concern to me. And I guess it's kind of why I chose it to be my topic. So when I see that 71% of organizations have a PMO today, well, that's very encouraging because you can see that PMO managers are succeeding, I guess, in delivering value to their organizations. They succeed in overcoming some of the challenges, some of the resistance that can be put forward when you want to implement the PMO. So these are very good figures. You can only be happy and rejoice. So why do PMO implementations fail? One of the reasons, I guess, one of the main reasons why PMO implementations fail is sometimes you don't have clear expectations. I guess a little bit like Bill was saying, you don't really know what to expect. What are they supposed to deliver? What is it that they do exactly? Sometimes when you implement the PMO, they think it's a magic recipe. The PMO manager comes in with a magic wand that goes ta-dam, and all of a sudden, all your problems disappear. It's not the case. Very far from it. It will improve the manner in which projects are delivered if you give it a chance. However, it's definitely not overnight, and it's not going to be easy. So this is definitely one of the reasons why PMO implementations can be very, very painful and can fail. Getting that right is probably one of the key factors of success. When we talk about PMOs and their staying power, one of the key things that they need to get right is their perception of value of the PMO. Again, this goes back to what is it that the PMO is supposed to do in the first place. Many people from senior management believe that PMO is just there to help with reporting, maybe standardizing the methodology, the way that the project managers, the tools that the project managers use, and capacity management, things of the sort. But a PMO can do much, much, much more. But not setting that right can make it so that I guess it can be a challenge for the PMO manager to be able to get the leeway to be able to really do the work that he wants to accomplish, because he's not going to get the support of management. They're not expecting him to do those things. They're just expecting him to do these little things. And if the results are not instantaneous, well, usually they lose patience, and that was it for the PMO. So value, keep that in mind, is a key perspective. As I stated earlier, the lack of senior management can be something that can be catastrophic for a PMO. When a PMO manager comes into place, he needs to have senior management, I guess, support in order to help him carry out the things that he wants to do. When you want to implement a PMO, there's a lot of it makes an organization have to go through a certain level of change, and it's human nature to be resistant to change. So if you don't have somebody that's strong, that's kind of saying, do what the PMO manager says, I believe in him, it can make his work very, very hard. And it could be one of the reasons why the PMO implementation failed. There could be many, many more reasons, but these are that is definitely one of the ones that can be critical to the success of a PMO implementation. So what are the success formulas for successful PMO implementation? Well, first one, build relationships, not processes. When you are given the mandate to implement a PMO, the last thing that you should do is just go in with your toolkit that you used at other organization, or you saw one of your friends do, or was recommended by Gartner or whatever, and start implementing it right away. What you should do is build relationships with all your stakeholders across the organization. You should build relationships with the project managers, with the heads of every division that are going to be servicing, having projects with. You should be building relationships with senior management. You should have a PMO sponsor, a PMO champion, someone with clout, someone with power to help you push through the changes that you want to bring in the organization. It would be very helpful if that person had an understanding of what project management is. He would be your best ally. And as such, you just have to make a good job of building bridges with everyone and taking time to focus on building the foundations, I guess, of what will be all the clients that you're going to be servicing once your PMO will be in place. So processes are there. Projects were being delivered before you showed up. They will keep delivered whether you're there or not. So build relationships, and then you can move forward and think about reviewing the processes. So the second step is you should do an as-is assessment. Again, don't go in and start implementing right away. Start by looking at the way they do things right now. Ask a lot of questions. What are they doing that's good? What are their pain points? What are the areas that they would like to you to intervene and to help? If you take time to do that, you will demonstrate to, I guess, your stakeholders that you're listening, that you're responsive, and you will make a lot of friends across the organizations that will be there to help you as you go through the motions of trying to implement your PMO. When you do decide that you want to implement it, you should do it or define your PMO roadmap with the help of all the major stakeholders within the organization, including the project managers, getting their input on the changes that they would like to see, the improvements that they think would help them deliver their projects. Talk to management. What are they looking for? What information would they like to see? And things of the sort. And once you have that, then you can go about starting the implementation of the PMO. Once you start, then you should build communities of practice. There can be more than one. There could be one for the project managers, one for the scrum masters, one for the solution architects, one for the analysts, and things of the sort. And you can have mixed ones also, where you bring them all together and you talk about best practices and ways in which you can improve the project delivery and things of the sort, and let them exchange. Take notes, and don't be afraid to readjust and go back to the drawing board and say, oh, we want to do it like this, but I mean, in the communities of practice, they've been talking about that, and maybe we should be integrating it into the tools that we use. Yes, you should. Sometimes they are the ones that are out there trying to implement and deploy projects. You should keep your ear close to the ground and get the pulse of how things are going and adjust accordingly. You have to constantly reinvent yourself, I guess. And finally, as a PMO manager, it's very important for you to be able to start off on the right foot. And that means being able to find ways that you can bring positive change, things that will deliver value to the organization relatively quickly. You have to set off on that pretty much from the get-go. So you have to identify KPIs, deliverables, things of value that you can bring to the organization in the short run. Look for some quick wins. Make your first 100 days count because the clock is ticking. If it takes too long for you to be able to demonstrate that the PMO is worth the effort, it's worth the pain, then you might be heading for very challenging implementation. But delivering value and reassessing from time to time if the elements that you delivered value on are still what they're looking for, because that can change. A good PMO will be agile. It'll be constantly trying to measure if they're delivering value to the organization, to the project managers, and to the, I guess, senior management. And as such, they'll adjust themselves along the way, with the simple goal of always trying to be, I guess, servant leader, always trying to bring forward the best and help the organization meet its strategic objectives, and project managers deliver their goals. They'll deliver their projects. So I would like to take a moment to thank you for listening to my presentation. I look forward to connecting with you. If you're interested in talking about project management, please pass by and say hi at one of my Let's Talk Project Management meetups. It would be great for me to have an opportunity to exchange with you. You can find me on LinkedIn, so please connect with me, Joey Perugino. Thanks, and I hope that everybody will have a great conference. Have a great day, everyone.